as a young graduate, your first job, you have a sense of course, you're naive, but also a sense of arrogance, right? That you want to change things radically, you want to change things immediately. My name is Sheikh Mohd Farouq Abdul Faris. Ini Kasih Kita. I mean, a lot of people, they go to madrasah, because they want to equip themselves with religious knowledge. I mean, of course, that is one aspect. But I guess the main takeaway from madrasah itself is the people that I met and the teachers that have imparted values in me. And I wasn't really an easy student. I've shared this like with my parents, particularly with my mom. I even went for training behind her back. I brought my football boots to school, and I was selected actually to play for a local team. I just had to sign a contract, but then I realized that if I proceed with this choice, then I don't think things will work out at home, and I still want to have a shelter on my head. After madrasah, usually you would go to either overseas in Al-Azhar, but I chose Malaysia, International Islamic University of Malaysia. So I majored in comparative religion and usuluddin, and I minored in history and civilization. And after I graduated, I worked in an NGO for a couple of years. Then I pursued my master's in Hamad bin Khalifa University in Doha. And I majored in Islamic thought and applied ethics for a couple of years. And right now I'm taking my second master's in Asian Studies in RSIS, specializing in interreligious relations. My parents have very little, but they gave us everything. And I've never felt that my needs are unfulfilled or something like that. I mean, the basic needs are fulfilled. It's a support. It's a support from my parents. It's a support from my family members, extended family members. I guess if it wasn't for my auntie, and it's not just one auntie, right? Her sister, and then her brother also helped me and my siblings, particularly myself, because I'm lacking that language component, or particularly in Arabic. So if it wasn't for this support or family support, I don't think that I would have probably done well, or at least be successful in madrasah. But of course, you yourself have to also try to make a difference. And I guess it is also the drive or the motivation of wanting to leave a good impression on your parents and on your siblings as the eldest. When I went to Malaysia, I actually took an education loan, and the loan only covers 3/4 of the tuition fees. So I'm really thankful for LBKM for fulfilling that other quarter. It allowed me to expand my academic journey overseas. I enrolled myself into a summer program in Spain. So you immerse yourself in history of Islamic or Muslim civilization or Muslim life over there. But I guess the teachers, the professors that I met during that program, how they speak of Islam, it is an Islam of a different perspective, of a broader perspective. It was that Islam that I fell in love even more with my own religion, and how I see the world. I went to Pergas, or an NGO, Muslim NGO, and I was community outreach officer. And I was given the task to somewhat oversee and facilitate certain issues concerning the community. I guess it was also this first job of mine that has also largely shaped how I see the Muslim community in Singapore. Because, as a young graduate, your first job, you have a sense of course, you're naive, but also a sense of arrogance, right? That you want to change things radically, you want to change things immediately, right? You want to see change overnight. But I was humbled. It was a really humbling experience when you interact intimately with the community. You realize that it is not necessarily black or white, right? the community is very nuanced, very complex, and it's important for us to take into account their lived experience and meet their needs before ours. One of the best moments when applying for LBKM, right? And to see that, because of this financial assistance, helping some of my friends who are not as privileged as me, some of them, they are well-known people or individuals in the community. And it is also partly because of the financial assistance. We look out for each other. Yeah, we look out for each other because, when you're away from home, you have to create a home for yourself, and your friends are basically the people who are living that home. So you want everyone to do well. To live by knowledge, mercy, is to live by, that is the LB. The K represents my mom, which is knowledge. So to live by knowledge, meaning that whatever that you do in life, right, you need knowledge. If you want the world, you need knowledge. If you want the hereafter, you need knowledge. And I would also say that, when you facilitate those who are on the path of knowledge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will facilitate your path, in this world and the hereafter. So I would say that to a certain extent, of course, the people, LBKM, they have facilitated this journey of mine. And may Allah reward them for that. If there's one value that I can basically hold on to, it is the value of mercy. So the M represents mercy because it represents my father. And he is the most merciful being. And from a very young age, he would teach us to always think of those on the margins of society. Right? Even though we didn't have a lot, but there's always those who are struggling more than you. And my father didn't have anything. But just like I remember when I was a child, when we see someone who is struggling, my father would ask me to, for example, give certain donation. Right? He could have done it by himself, but he told me to do it on behalf of him. And that is a value that he transferred to me from a very young age. To all the donors, thank you so much for your contribution and support. I hope that there will be future or potential donors that will contribute to LBKM because it has benefited me, and I hope that it will also benefit others.